read it, misunderstood it. Procedural intervention. The reason why this might be necessary is confusion exists concerning the procedures that are being used. Focus on the intervention, that what's and the hows of the process, right? So there could be some confusion, right? As part of the do's and the don'ts, the team charter, which you have already communicated before, right? Somebody has read it, misunderstood it, right? So you need to clarify, oh yes, I think this rule is what it means. Conceptual, that is procedural. Conceptual is the reason behind this type of intervention, the concept, why we do that, right? It's the conceptual. To clarify concept and enhance understanding. Process intervention. The reason behind this type of intervention is that need arises to focus attention on some interpersonal or group dynamics, which may develop to have a harmful effect on the outcome. Detrimental means harmful effect on the outcome. Okay, so that is process intervention. So yes, sometimes, there could be a negative dynamic, and this is where you need to stop the spark from becoming a fire. You need to stop the spark from becoming a fire. Right? Extinguish the spark at the right time. Moving on, the facilitation techniques, awareness, brainstorming, nominal group techniques, affinity diagram, fishbowl, undiscussables, multiple perspectives, and the hanger principle. So we are going to go over each one of them. Awareness, brainstorming, right? Nominal group technique, affinity diagram, fishbowl, undiscussables, multiple perspectives, and the hanger principle. Awareness. So what is this awareness all about? Yes?
Yes.
What are your views? Awareness?
Well, couldn't awareness also be that you're being aware of what's happening in the room and helping them communicate effectively on the topic at hand?
Right. So it is your awareness and the group team's awareness.
Well, I meant you're being aware of the group, so you're observing the group.
Absolutely.
Not your awareness of what you want. It's more of understanding what's happening with the group.
Perfect. You're spot on.
Yeah.
What's happening right now in the group, right? So
happening in that, be here now in the group.
Exactly. What does the group want right now? What is the group doing to prevent themselves from getting what they want? The obstacles, right? How can the group overcome these issues and move ahead? So the challenges and how the group is going to move ahead. Brainstorming. What comes to your mind when we talk about brainstorming?
Well, you have to give them something to brainstorm about. So there's a topic thrown in, or there's an idea or a concept that's thrown in, so they can start working on those solutions or those ideas and concepts.
Right. So make a note that brainstorming is an idea generation technique.
Hold on.
Right? Yeah. It's an idea generation technique.
I misplaced my pen. Give me 1 second.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Take your time.
Brainstorming is an idea
Generation technique.
generation technique.
Right. So how do you brainstorm? So you invite people to the room for discussion and you throw the topic, right? And open the floor. And that's how the brainstorming happens. Now, there are two types of brainstorming. There are two types. Oh, sorry. I have to talk about brainstorming. Here we go. Where we go. Yeah. Sorry, I was just trying to get the pen so that I can draw here. Right. So we have, suppose we have about 10 people in the room, right? So this is, you invite all of them to one place and you throw the idea for discussion. This is called, the first method is round robin type of brainstorming. Okay, round robin. The second one is, oh, sorry, I think it's getting navigated to the next one. Sorry for that. Okay, the second one, what we are talking about is it's called the brain writing. Brain writing, or it is also known as the paper and pen. Paper and pen type of brainstorming session. Right? So here what we do, when we invite all of the members to the room, right? First, we collect individual responses. In this process, we collect individual responses first. And then you start the discussion. Right?
Yes.
Now, what is the difference between the first one and the second one? The first one, you invite people, they assemble, they gather, and then you start the discussion. And the second one is you collect individual responses first, maybe through a questionnaire, get the individual feedback, and then you throw the topic for discussion. Which is better?
I think the second one. Well,
Yes, second
wait.
one is better. Right, you're right.
Second one
Second
is
one is better. Why it is better? Second one.
Mm, because you're gonna get more responses.
Mm.
You're gonna get more individual information.
Okay, so suppose in the first one, just to counter your point, suppose in the first case, if even after the discussion, suppose after the group discussion, I collect individual responses, right? So, so in the first case, we collect after the discussion, the responses, and the second case, we collect before the discussion, the individual responses. Now tell me, what is the difference?
Oh, because then everyone had a perspective in the beginning on the second one. Because you collected individual responses. Then you brought in discussion. But everyone got to say something. On the first one, most people may not be able to get to say everything.
Okay, maybe you give the questionnaires, right? Individual questionnaires to everyone and you collect through everyone. So you're giving opportunities for everyone to share, right? But what is still the key difference between the first one and the second one? Think. So both cases you are collecting individual feedback. One is after discussion, one is before the group discussion. One is after group discussion, one is before group discussion, right? So the first one is called round robin, where you collect responses after the group discussion. And the second one is called the brain writing or paper and pen, where you collect individual responses first before the group discussion. Now tell me logically, what is the difference?
Well, you're collecting the information and the data first, and then now their thoughts are kind of fresh in their head. So when they get to then do the discussion after they did that, they'll have their concepts and their ideas already because they just wrote it down.
Okay. What else? Think. You're right. Much more, little bit more think. What is the advantage of collecting individual responses first?
Because that way they'll they were able to give their concept, their opinion. They were able to think about the data, the question. It's fresh in their mind.
What else?
With the brain, because it's brain writing, they're putting the responses on questionnaire, and then they're also able to write things more down. It's more tangible for them.
Okay.
What am I not missing? Bridge, what am I missing?
Yes, exactly.
I
I'm
think I'm
waiting for
missing
you to
something.
come here. You're missing something. Think
Yeah.
of this discussion. Think of this discussion when we have 10 people in the room, right? In the first one, you invite them and you throw the topic and all start discussing. And the second one, you collect individual responses first, and then the group start discussing. So what is the difference, right? So what happens generally in the meeting? If there are 10 people in the meeting, you will
I
find,
think the round robin is going to get too heated. The
heated,
brain
right?
writing is going to get more collaboration.
Right. Okay. See, the most
Because
important aspect, is when the group start discussing, then what happens is there are 3 to 4 guys who are leading the discussion and they take the entire group in one particular direction, right? Now, because of that, there could be a brilliant idea in the mind of that introvert who's not speaking much. Brilliant idea is there, but since the team is discussing, this fellow feels that, oh yes, let's go that way. So he or she drops that idea.
they give it up.
Yes, they give it up. Exactly. So we don't want that to happen, right? We want them to write it down, share with us, and then we decide which is best, right? So they shouldn't give it up, right? So in simple, to summarize, in brain writing, we collect individual responses first, and we get an uninfluenced, transparent feedback, right? What we get? An uninfluenced, transparent feedback.
Transparent feedback.
Right. Or idea. Because it's not influenced. Right? Otherwise, what happens? Influencing.
Our influences brain PP is non-influenced.
Right. So many a times it happens that the leader asks you, why didn't you share this before? Right? You had a brilliant idea. Why didn't you share this before? And the guy would invariably answer, oh, yes, because the team were going that way, I thought of not sharing that point. Right? It happens. So it's important that, you collect those individual feedbacks first. Right. Moving on.
Yes.
Brainstorming. Yes, we discussed way in which use ideas. And then time limitation pass. Okay, you can just go over it later. That's just the process. Okay, nominal group technique.